Welcome to another episode of the Neoliberalism podcast. We have breaking news. The US is at war in the Middle East after joining with Israel to attack Iran's nuclear sites. This paves the way for a World War III as Iran has vowed to respond after what it says was its rights to enrich uranium, just like any other country, and to be taken seriously. Iran has vowed irreparable damage if the US was to get involved in this war. And moments ago, President Trump spoke, and we have it here. He spoke to the nation, and he actually sent a tweet. He said, "We have completed a very successful attack on the 3 nuclear sites in Iran, including Fordo, Natanz, and Esfahan. Esfahan. All planes are now outside of Iran airspace. A full payload of bombs was dropped on the primary site, Fordo. All planes are safely on their way home. Congratulations to our great American warriors. There is not another military in the world that could have done this. Now this is a time for peace. Thank you for your attention to this matter." Quite interesting. He said this is the time for peace after they sent bombs, after they sent warplanes, bombs taking out Iran. This is quite interesting. This is ironic, or I don't know what it is. But here is Donald Trump moments ago, and then right after that, we have a response.
And Esfahan. Everybody heard those names for years as they built this horribly destructive enterprise. Our objective was the destruction of Iran's nuclear enrichment capacity and a stop to the nuclear threat posed by the world's #1 state sponsor of terror. Tonight I can report to the world that the strikes were a spectacular military success. Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated. Iran, the bully of the Middle East, must now make peace. If they do not, future attacks will be far greater and a lot easier. For 40 years, Iran has been saying death to America, death to Israel. They have been killing our people, blowing off their arms, blowing off their legs with roadside bombs. That was their specialty. We lost over 1,000 people, and hundreds of thousands throughout the Middle East and around the world have died as a direct result of their hate. In particular, so many were killed by their general, Qasem Soleimani. I decided a long time ago that I would not let this happen. It will not continue. I want to thank and congratulate Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu. We worked as a team like perhaps no team has ever worked before. And we've gone a long way to erasing this horrible threat to Israel. I want to thank the Israeli military for the wonderful job they've done. And most importantly, I want to congratulate the great American patriots who flew those magnificent machines tonight, and all of the United States military on an operation the likes of which the world has not seen in many, many decades. Hopefully, we will no longer need their services in this capacity. I hope that's so. I also want to congratulate the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Dan Raising-Kane, spectacular general, and all of the brilliant military minds involved in this attack. With all of that being said, this cannot continue. There will be either peace or there will be tragedy for Iran far greater than we have witnessed over the last 8 days. Remember, there are many targets left. Tonight's was the most difficult of them all, by far, and perhaps the most lethal. But if peace does not come quickly, we will go after those other targets with precision, speed, and skill. Most of them can be taken out in a matter of minutes. There's no military in the world that could have done what we did tonight Not even close. There's never been a military that could do what took place just a little while ago. Tomorrow, General Kane, Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth will have a press conference at 8 a.m. at the Pentagon. And I want to just thank everybody, and in particular, God. I want to just say we love you, God, and we love our great military. Protect them. God bless the Middle East. God bless Israel, and God bless America. Thank you very much. Thank you.
That was President Donald Trump talking about that the U.S. moments ago entered the war with Israel against Iran, and it was really a cliche speech talking about how Iran has what they have done in the past. But I don't know if this bomb or this attack was about what they have done in the past. The U.S. and Iran and all these countries have had deals and so on and so forth. I think they're appealing to the most heinous aspect of people. They're going way down in their past to find something to justify why they're going to war against relatively a country that really, I haven't heard any heinous attack on the part of the Iranians. I have not heard any attack. I read about the Houthis and the Tutsis and so on and so forth. Yes, they've kind of probably supported the Palestinians surreptitiously. But apart from that, we haven't really heard anything coming out of them. But so for the U.S. to say that we're going to enter the war, we decide to enter the war because of what they've done, attacks against the U.S. I'm not sure about that. Maybe they have done so in the past, and I'm quite sure they have suffered. In many ways, in many ways. But this particular decision to fight, to enter the war and to bomb Iran, is about the nuclear weapon and the potential threat. Iran will become a superpower. In effect, you have a nuclear weapon, you become a powerful nation. That's the problem. And they're saying, well, they are neutralizing a threat. But Israel can be a threat. The U.S. can be a threat. Russia can be a threat. Russia is a threat. They have nuclear weapons. They're allowed to have nuclear weapons. They're talking out of the side of their mouths. Some people get to have nuclear weapons, but others don't. Okay? When black people fight for their freedom, they are terrorists. When white people fight for their freedom, they call it a revolution. That's what's going on here. The Neoliberalism Podcast. I'm Renaldo McKenzie of the Neoliberalism Podcast. And just now, moments ago, the President, Donald Trump, spoke to the nation, to the U.S. people, announcing that the U.S. is at war and that the U.S. had sent 3 fighter jets and had taken out 3 nuclear capabilities or sites in Iran, and that it was successful. There was no the airmen who went did not suffer any damages, and they're on their way back home. It was successful. Now, I have a problem with this particular war, with this war, because one, the basis of the war is this: Iran poses a threat. They pose a threat because they are trying to become a nuclear superpower, in the sense that they want to have the ability to enrich uranium and ultimately to have nuclear weapons. Once you have nuclear weapons, you are a superpower. They want to be a superpower just like Israel. Israel in the region, they are dominant because of their capability. They have nuclear weapons. However, Israel is attacking Iran because they are close to developing their ability to have nuclear weapons. It would therefore shift the scale. It would shift the balance of power. And that's a problem. And what Israel and the US are doing is that they are redefining, just as though in order to justify slavery, they said that Africans were half humans, so that they can feel good about enslaving them. And that's a problem I'm having here, because you see, it's all about power. The issue is power. The thing is, how can Israel have the right to enrich and to have nuclear weapons, and Israel and Iran can't? Well, Iran is, well, because they've killed Americans, and Israel have done a lot to Palestinians and to other people in the world. The US can have also, everybody have ghosts, demons in their closet. The argument is a convenient one to justify their reason to hold on to power, but they're not speaking in like that in so many ways. Here it is a sovereign nation like Israel, Iran is not a sovereign nation when it comes down to their intentions to enrich and to develop nuclear weapons. And they are saying that, well, because of what you have done, because you have attacked Americans in Iraq. Just please remember that there was a war in the Middle East, and the US is clear in Iraq. Iran is in the Middle East. Anyways, I believe that, I said to somebody recently, when black people fight for their freedom, they are called terrorists. But when white people do it, they are called revolutionaries. Okay? You see these men in their three-piece suit talking seriously into the camera, talking bad and bold, saying that no, you cannot, another country cannot, talking to the Iranians as if they're children. You can't have it. You can't have nuclear weapons. You can't have the candy. Only we can have the candy. Only we can have Ferris wheels. Okay? Only we can have Apple computers and so on. You can't have it. Because if you have it, then it will strengthen your capabilities. And it will raise your dominance. Okay? It will shift the balance of power. It will rival ours. Okay? And it will put you, and what if you don't like us? Then you might be able to. We want to forever be able to done you. We want to be forever to be able to dominate you. That's the issue. And so they're saying, well, we are getting with the potential. The Israel poses a threat just as Iran poses a threat. The argument is a much ado about nothing. I'm not going to talk about this war in the ways ABC and these other news pundits are talking about it. I'm going to talk about it philosophically. Okay, philosophically, ideologically, philosophically, theologically, and how God would have us to talk about it. You think what would Jesus do? You think God would sit there? Oh, come on now, man. Come on now, man. No, just listen. Are you understanding the point I'm making?
Yeah, I'm listening. I'm definitely listening. It's
How can they deny? No, a sovereign nation. They are denying a sovereign nation the right to have nuclear weapons when they have it. You have it and they can't have it? What's going on? No, it defies me. And they're saying, well, Renaldo, they don't understand because they have the potential that every single country have potential. They all have different ideologies and turf that they protect. Okay? It's a convenient argument. Okay? It's an argument they're using an argument from convenience. It's potential. It's a hypothetical. We don't get involved in hypotheticals. Okay? But the thing is, it's all about power. Just call it what it is. It is about power. The maintenance of power. Maintenance of power in the region and in the world. That's all it has. Just call it what it is. It has nothing to do with anything else. And so now we are willing to go to war against the Iranians and upend people's lives to stroke our egos.